ساعت الان 3:37 ورودی فرحزاده.
Well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal. And now it's a harder thing to sign, you know. It's a lot of water over the dam. But, you know, it's very, I say it very simply, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon.
This is a particular challenge for Trump insofar as a lot of his his run for office was initially premised on the idea that he was going to avoid foreign entanglements. And so I think there are big questions too. It's just not just about, well, is this a smart move for us to get militarily involved, but what is it going to get us caught up in? And there are big divisions within the Trump's camp, within the Republican Party, over where exactly this is going to go.
Biden's weakness has led the planet to the edge of nuclear war. I will bring the world glorious new peace, and I will make the following statement. I am the only one that can say this, I believe. I know them all, and they respect me. They don't respect our country anymore. It's a country that's in decline, but they respect me, and we're going to have it back very soon. We're going to have a great country very soon. But I'll say this. I will prevent World War III. I'm the only one that's going to do it.
Two things I think are true. One is that this president, more than probably any modern president, has a hold on his party in ways that are deep and profound, and that the power and the loyalty that he commands within the party is extraordinary, on the one hand. And it is also true that presidential politics remain the politics of coalition formation and maintenance. And when you take certain kinds of actions, you can see fissures opening up. And that's particularly likely when you're exercising power and making decisions, and there's real fallout from those decisions. And that's what we're seeing right now. This is a hard issue. So some of this has to do with just differences in judgment. Other things point towards, frankly, deep and abiding cleavages within the coalition that he's leading up. What's interesting about Trump, to my mind, is that he, as a president, has a hold on his party in ways that very few past presidents have had. That's the headline. But it would be hyperbole to say that everybody necessarily is walking in lockstep with him, that there are divisions within the coalition. There are on the right, just as there are on the left. And when people are commonly walking under a banner of America First, for some, that means an inward look to the nation and its troubles and what they perceive to be a healthy disregard or a recalibration of our commitments to an engagement with the outside world for some. And for others, it's really critical that what comes under the America First banner also is a recognition that this is a dangerous world and that we as a country have to meet those dangers. And sometimes that's going to involve the exercise of military force.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because,
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not
okay.
even, you don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
My supporters are America first. They make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon. Tucker's a nice guy. He called and apologized the other day because he thought he said things that were a little bit too strong. And I appreciated that. And Ted Cruz is a nice guy. I mean, he's been with me for a long time. I'd say once the race was over, he's been with me ever since, right? But very simple. If they think that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, then they should oppose me. But nobody thinks it's okay. And it's interesting because I did ask Tucker, I said, well, are you okay with nuclear weapons being in the hands of Iran? And he sort of didn't like that. He didn't want to really, but he sort of didn't like that. And I said, well, if it's okay with you, then you and I do have a difference. But it's really not okay with him. Therefore, you may have to fight, and maybe it'll end, very quickly. But there's no way that you can allow, whether you have to fight or not, you can allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon because the entire world will blow up. I'm not going to let that happen.
Mr. President. Of the United States Naval Academy.
But there is a real pattern that midterms are bad for incumbent presidents' parties. And that's true for lots of reasons. A big reason is that in taking well-defined actions, in trying to pass policy generally, presidents routinely open up cleavages. There are disaffected minorities who thought that they stood with the president, but are frustrated by the particular hue or direction of the actions that he ultimately takes in office. And this move, if it happens, is going to lead them to question and rethink their support for the president. I don't mean to suggest that then they're going to vote against him, but for some subset of them, they'll be less likely to turn out just as the opposition is emboldened. So both those trends point against the sitting president and lead to an increased chances that Democrats pick up some seats in Congress.